Hey guys, it's me again. So I know it's not Sunday, but I thought I would do an extra video this week to talk about the comp exam that Ross students have to take before step one. So I don't know when this is going to go up, hopefully soon, but I have so many emails talking about comp and what I did to be successful. For those of you that don't know and haven't heard of the comp, it's just like an MBME CBSE, which is a long acronym just for this exam we have to take before writing the step one exam. And I'm happy that they do it because that step one is beastly. So the fact that we have to make sure that we're ready before writing the actual real thing is I think it's a very good thing. Okay, so what I always tell people that write me is make sure that you focus on raw stuff first. And if you guys follow my blog and you guys follow my Instagram, I always say this because you can't write comp or step one before doing Ross. And I think AUC and like a lot of Caribbean schools as well make people do the comp exam before step one. And I think there's actually a couple of United States schools as well. So what I did was really focus on comp after the second mini and fourth semester. That's the biggest tip I can give you guys, is that make sure that you have enough leeway and enough of fourth semester covered to start kind of fading away and making sure that you're doing comp as well. So that's what I would say to people, is make sure that you have enough of fourth already completed to set yourself up to make sure that you have enough time to focus on comp as well. So if you start right away in fourth is way too hard to do that. You got to make sure that you have enough of your grade completed to start kind of working at comp throughout the day. So what I did was after the second mini of fourth, I would get up and do RX questions. I would do about 10 to 20 or like 15 to 25 in the mornings. I'd wake up a little bit earlier, and then I would media site and do raw stuff first and make sure all my notes and my one pagers were already finished. And if you are not sure about one pagers, a couple of videos back I talk about how I studied in medical school for the first 2 years. So I would make sure I did raw stuff first. I would review what I did with Ross, and then I would go back in first aid. That's when I started using first aid. And just annotate what I learned throughout fourth and also the previous semesters. And that's all I did, guys. For that was, I don't know when the second mini is in fourth semester, but I wouldn't start any earlier than that. To be honest, a lot of my class had trouble passing comp and passing Ross just because of the fact that they started too early with it. They started too late. They partied, which you will see the people who are going to take it seriously and the people who will not. You have 3 attempts, and then if you get over a 62, you actually have you have another fourth attempt. And I know people that have appealed and have done it 6 times. You do not want to write this 6 times. It is beastly. It is an annoying exam, but it's also, I think it's a very important exam to make sure that you are ready to move on. So what I would do is, again, RX questions in the morning. Then I would do raw stuff, make my one pagers, I would media site, I'd review what I learned, and then at night I would annotate the first aid book or just read a couple pages or read a chapter. It's however I felt. And then that weekend what I would do is I would do more questions, obviously, and then I would do more reading in the first aid. And that really helped me. That I felt like I was as prepared as I could have been, I guess, because that comp exam, you're so exhausted by fourth semester, you just want to leave and go home and off the island. But that's where a good student becomes a great student, because everyone's pretty much checked out by that point. They're so excited to go home. They see the light at the end of the tunnel. They want to get off that island. I mean, I've been there. I know exactly that feeling. But those last 2 weeks of fourth semester, you have your banquet, and then you also have your fourth semester final on that Friday. So what I tell people, it's really 9 days of studying, because you have your banquet on that weekend, and then you sleep. You're sleeping that Saturday and Sunday, and then you pretty much have like that week, and then I think the comp's on like that next Friday. I can't really remember. So you have like a little bit less than 2 weeks to really grind. And that was the hardest part of studying for me, is because you see people going to the beach, or they're not going to take it seriously. They're going to take a fail and try on when they get home. And I do not advise that at all. Going home to family and friends when you're like completely secluded and you're studying for this long, people don't pass, guys. They don't, because they go home and think they can study like they do on the island. It's a completely different world. Really take those less than 2 weeks and really focus on passing. What drove me nuts is people would party and people would not take it seriously and they'd pass. Just luck of the draw. Like, what I've learned is that med school is a very humbling experience. You take everything that comes your way with a grain of salt and shake it off and be like, okay, you know what, I'll get it. And so that's what my biggest thing to tell you guys is, that focus on you. If you need to go to C1 or C6 or C4, the library or home or wherever you study, grind those last 2 weeks, because even though, let's say that if you fail the first time, which many people do, so do not worry, or if you fail the second time, which many people do, so don't worry. But if for the people who are wanting to pass on the very first attempt, focus on you. Try and stick to a schedule that you can obtain throughout the day. And that's my biggest thing, is that I couldn't do more than 20 questions a day. I was getting too flustered. So stick to your guns. Make sure that you are taking the time for yourself as well. Take breaks, and because you can get burnt out. Do not do UWorld. I would save UWorld for step 1, and you don't have enough time to really grasp UWorld's angles. It's the tertiary questions. You're gonna get through maybe 20 in those 2 weeks, because they're so dense, and the way that you use UWorld is reading the explanations, and you just don't have time. You need like quick facts, quick kind of things in the morning, and RX is perfect for that. RX is not good for step 1, RX is really good for comp. Take that with you, because there's a lot of people that try and get through UWorld as much as they can, and they run out of time very quickly. So RX will get you in the groove. It will get you seeing different questions in different formats. And that's my biggest thing to people, is that make sure that you kind of save UWorld for step 1. And a lot of people have said the same thing above me. So, okay, biggest thing, comp exam is doable. You're gonna see people that are not taking it seriously. Focus on you. Go to a classroom or stay at home, whatever you want to do, and just grind those last 10 or 9 days. And just, honestly, whatever it will be, it will be. The exam is completely lottery. You don't know what you're going to get. Try and study as much as you can, and just try and do stuff that's going to calm your stress level, and make sure you're still working out, and making sure that you're eating right, and drinking lots of water. So I hope this helps. And if you guys have any more questions and any comments, just leave them below, and I'll get back to them. Bye, guys.